Hi everyone. So, welcome to Transfer Deadline Day. This video is sponsored by the One Football app. Great app to download, keep up to date with all the Transfer Deadline Day today in particular, because we're expecting deals to come in and out. Likely to be probably late afternoon, I'm guessing evening time as well. So if you download that, that is free. The link is in the description for the One Football app. Bear with me just a second. So I'm at work at the moment. Got a bit of time off to basically do a transfer deadline update for you. We've got two more later on today as well. We're doing a live one this evening, which will be at the ground, and then we've got a later one tonight, which will be at the training ground as well. Keep up to date with the Facebook page. The lads are keeping it up to date with all the transfer deadline days, the likes of Paul, Mark, and Kyle as well. We're just basically just bring you up to speed of what it is at the moment. Of course, if you're watching the rerun of this might have changed since this video's gone out because it is 12:30 at the moment. And we're just going to talk about a couple of transfer dealings which could be on or off at the club. The first one is obviously the big one, which is the Miguel Almirón one. So we've seen him pictured last night, and he came up on the Tyneside, got the plane over from Heathrow, I think it was, and obviously jumped on the helicopter. So he's at the training ground last night, and he was again this morning. Now, Keith Downey has said that the deal is almost done, just waiting on the club's official confirmation of this. Again, by the time you're watching this, the rerun, this might have already happened. So it's a record fee, and it's about time that we broke Michael Owen's record fee, because it's been there for like, what was it, 14 years, something crazy like that. It's about time that we got the money out. Now, whether this money, where is it coming from? Because we've seen that the club took out a loan on the 22nd of January, so it raises a little bit doubt where this money is coming from. But I think it was more important for me that we got this deal for Rafa, because this is a player that Rafa's wanted for a long time. But also, it probably be, I wouldn't say reassures Rafa of staying beyond the summer, but it enhances it. Of course, it's not official yet, we know this, but from Almirón, I am a little bit excited, don't get me wrong, but we've seen the Atlanta fan United fan TV, sorry, who came on and basically was singing these praises, saying he's great on the ball, got a great left foot, he can go past players, he can take a free kick, he's going to bring that bit of spark into Newcastle, which look, let's be honest, we need that. And I think it also gives Rafa a little bit more option, because he can play on the left, he can play as a number 10 as well, but it'll also, can move Perez further up top and maybe put a bit of pressure on Perez in that number 10, but also, because we've seen Perez play on the right, we can also use Perez possibly as a striker, in particular with Hoslu being injured at the moment. But I think for Almirón, for me personally, once the deal does come, is I think next season is we'll see the better of him, because I think when he comes in for the second half of the season, the one thing I'm a little bit worried about is that fans get on his back, because he's a skinny lad. It's going to be rough and tumble for him. It's a more physique league. I think we're not expecting to set the world alight straight away. Well, I'm not in particular. I'm probably next season is the Almirón. But look, it's positive news. It's about time that Newcastle splash the cash. Buzzing if we get him. I really will. Look, he's a bit of an unknown. Let's be honest. I mean, if you say you're an Almirón addict and you know him off the top of your head, you're going to be lying, unless you obviously watch the MLS. Now, when he was at Lanús, which is in the Argentinian league, he was absolutely brilliant there as well. So hopefully by the next update, we've got him. We've got, I believe, Mark and Paul coming to the city centre later as well to talk about that as well. So that's the first piece of good. Well, let's hopefully it's good news as well. The second one, which was seen last night, was Antonio Barreca. He was pictured at the airport last night on his Instagram, and he's on Tyneside. He's also been pictured by Sky at the club's training ground this morning by Keith Downey's cameraman. Expecting that deal to go through some point today. Look, this one, I think it's more of an understudy to dumb it. We all know that we've got problems at left back. I don't think he's going to come in straight away to be a first team regular. I'd be very surprised on that. Looking at Barreca, when Thierry Henry, I know he's been sacked, we know that, but when Henry went in there, Barreca didn't even get a game for 2 months, which, whether it's an attitude problem by the Italian or where it's his ability. Look, we know that Lukaku was first choice, that deal didn't go through. So I think it's more of an understudy for that one, but it's good that we've got the left back, because Rafa doesn't rate Lazar. More on him in a minute. Rafa doesn't rate him at all, and you've seen Matt Ritchie doing an okay job. I think he's doing all right there. It's not his natural position, but you've also look at, Kennedy's played there. Kieran Clark's had a spell out there. You've seen, you could go on and on. There's been Mankio's another one. You've seen 2 or 3 people going to play there, and I think it's good to have a left back. Because let's be honest, Rafa made a mistake about Lazar. There's no shadow of a doubt about that. Lascelles and Lazar is probably his two worst signings at Newcastle. Awful, but it's a left back for the door, and I think it's good because we know that Dummett for me has improved massively defensively under Rafa, without a shadow of a doubt. Still a bit iffy going forward, but you want to defend first, attack second later. And Dummett has improved massively, and him having a bit of competition as well will do him the world of good as well. We know that Dummett can also play left centre back in this wing back role, so maybe he can be another centre back. But we're blessed at centre backs, which is not often we say that as Newcastle fans. The next one, give us a second, can I get a drink of water? Is Andreas Samaras. Now, that deal at the minute does not look like it's happening. Now, Sky, Pete Graves has turned around and said that the deal's not dead, but to be all honesty, when he started for Benfica on Tuesday night, looking at that thinking, that deal's quite a way off, isn't it? However, it's not dead. Things can change. As long as I get the registration done, he can have his medical after the deadline day. But that one doesn't look great at the moment with Samaras. Look, I'd like to come in. He's a free agent in the summer. There was talk about a 500, 600 grand loan fee, and then whoever buys him in the summer. But there is rumours about him also signing a contract at Benfica as well. So that one is probably unlikely to happen, but it can change if Newcastle get desperate. I guess it's also dependent on Isaac Hayden, which leaves me nicely onto him. Sky again say that Aston Villa want the midfielder. We know that he wants away. He had a great game on Tuesday night, him and Longstaff. Even Guardiola praised out two certain midfielders. So if we can get Samaras in, I think that'll allow Hayden to go out. And look, we all want Isaac Hayden, no disrespect to him, out the club because he doesn't want to be here. Is he going to take us to that next level? No, he's not, is he? And I think Longstaff, once we've got the likes of Key, Shelby and Diame back, I actually think Longstaff will jump ahead of Hayden. I think Longstaff will be our fourth choice, even if Hayden's still here, regardless if we sign Samaras or not. So, Hayden, Aston Villa, whether it's a loan fee, whether it's a permanent deal, we'll see on that one. He's been in training this morning as well, Hayden. So again, that one looks like it's another one which is a little bit far out of fetch as well. Cal Roberts, let's talk about him. It's rumoured that he's going to go to Colchester on loan. It is Matt Sells, yes, sorry. I'm tired, Mark. So, with Cal Roberts, who's going to go to Colchester on loan, he's a free agent in the summer, but the club will probably be impressed by his under-23 performance, scoring loads of goals, loads of assists, and obviously scored on his full debut. I think for us with Newcastle, and I think for Rafa, I'd be looking at if he does make that deal to Colchester for the rest of the season, see how he gets on, test himself in a regular team, and then maybe we sign him on a longer contract as well. Johnny's obviously close with Cal Roberts and also Ray's girlfriend as well. So if we get more on that, we'll hear from Johnny later on as well. So we'll see how that one goes. Ashraf Lazar, that's one in the... Is it happening? Is it not happening at the minute? Is he going to go to Calgary on loan? Look, we see him on Instagram all the time posting, and like I say, I think Rafa's mistake was signing him and Matt Sells as well. Lazar needs to get out of the club. I think he's worse than Hayden because Hayden's playing games, but with Lazar, we need to get him out of the club, whether it's a loan or a deal, because he's on reportedly something crazy like 35 grand, which is a lot for a guy who's playing a couple of under 23 games here and there. So Mark is saying the Samaras deal is not happening in a minute. It doesn't look like it, does it, Mark, at the minute? So Barreca completed his medical. Yeah, Lee, we're just waiting on confirmation from Almirón and Barreca. They might do it jointly. They might do it independently, separately. Who knows? As well, Lawrence thinks Robert should be playing at a higher level than League Two. Do you think Almirón and Kennedy can play together? Big man, little man? Why not? Why not, Chris? There's only one way to find out, isn't there? I think Lazar will stay, unfortunately, Lawrence. Hopefully we can get him away because he's stuck at the minute and he's playing the odd under 23 game. He can't get out on loan. I think probably a wages. We'll probably have to pay some of his wages if he does go out on loan, that concerns me in any case. Nothing on Rolando Aarons at the moment. We know he's another one. He hasn't even kicked the ball since he's come back from Czech Republic. He came back in mid-December. He hasn't even played in an under-23 game yet. And that for me is worrying, because he has a lad who I think is a lot better than Lazar, who, for whatever reason, attitude problems, whatever, he can't get a game for the under-23s. He needs to go out on loan. Now, the last thing for me, for Aarons, is you don't want to be going and send him up to Eastern Europe or whatever, middle of Europe, sorry, Eastern Europe, whatever, once the deadline shuts, because then we're limited to who we can get out, likes of Lazar and Aarons, because once that deadline shuts tonight, 11 o'clock, it limits down to who those two can join. Aarons needs games. He's a talent. He is a talent. I don't care what anybody says, he is a talent, but how much he's on, still on a long contract. He needs a loan. He's 22, you know. He needs to get first team football. He cannot be left in the wilderness. He's another one, you know what I mean? So, and finally, we'll wrap up and read some of your live chat as well. Is the Guardian say that Salomón Rondón could be done on a deal either extending to next year, another loan, or / permanent as well. I think it's great news. If someone said to me, let's go and buy Rondon now, I'm for it. I think he's worth it, as David Janela would say. I think I'll go out and spend the money on him. Whether it takes 15 million or 20 million, I think he's worth the risk for it as well. Mark, stop being a dickhead in the live chat. So I think he's worth it for me. And I also think that if we can get him over the line, say I would even have him on loan, I'll get rid of Gale. I would get rid of Gale. I think his future's not here. I think if we can turn his deal permanently, I would accept that. I would even do a swap. Even if it was like a swap plus 5 million, I think Rondon cemented his place now. I think he's justified it, and we need to go and buy him. And there was doubts about Rondon earlier on in the season. Could he hack it? Is he good enough? I think he is good enough. I think he suits this system, especially the wing-back system, a lot more. But when he holds the ball up for me, we need players getting closer, and maybe that's when Almirón kicks in, because he can fly around. Look, it's going to be an interesting afternoon. Hopefully by the next update, which will probably be round about 6 p.m. for the second one. Hopefully we've got 1 or 2 signings announced. There might be a special guest on later on tonight. I'm going to keep it under wraps at the moment, but there might be a special guest on tonight. Keep your eyes peeled for that as well. We're going to be on location later on tonight with the stadium, and then with the training ground as well. Fingers crossed we'll get all these deals done. Let's read some of your live chat before we wrap up. So, Lawrence says he wouldn't sign Kennedy. I wouldn't. I think Kennedy's been so poor as well. Aaron says thoughts on signing Kennedy permanently next season. Nah, I'm against it. Really against it. I think he's been really poor. Very poor. Darren says still have hope for Murphy. Yeah, sorry, I didn't touch upon Jacob Murphy, did I? There's talk about him going to West Brom. I don't think that'll happen unless we get Almirón in. So, Murphy's a shadow of his former self, isn't he? He's a real shadow of himself. I don't know. He seems a confidence player. He had that spell last season in January when he scored against Man City. That few games where he was doing really well, and it was bizarre that Rafa just took him. Never mind, took him out the first 11, took him out the whole 18. It was like, well, the lad's on form, but he's been so poor. For me, I would sell him. I'm gonna say it now. He probably needs a loan, but if someone came in for me and offered 7-8 million, I'd probably accept that. I just don't think Murphy's future is with us, unfortunately, whether it's now or in the summer as well. Late out of the youths, who's the most promising, says Lloyd. Sorensen, he come off his debut the other day, but who's left at the crop is probably Carl Roberts. And then you're probably looking at, I think I've been impressed by Watts, who's been playing out of position in a centre-back for the under 23s as well. Adam Wilson's exciting on the left flank as well, so a couple of there. Newcastle, let's have a look. What shirt number would you give Almirón? I don't really care. I just want him over the line, to be honest with you. What else we got as well? Thoughts on Shelby? Got to stay. Whether he's first team or off the bench, for me, Stephen, he's got to stay. He's got to stay as well. Newcastle fans may gain more fans, including me. Is this because of the Atlanta connection as well? What's happening with Hoslu? Says Jammy Jimmy. At the moment with Hoslu, I think it was just rumours with China. Look, if he goes to China, I think that'll be the biggest shock probably in the transfer window for Newcastle. I mean, if we can get him off their books, even if it was well, it's not going to be free because China will probably pay some money towards it. I can't see that happening because of the squad depth we're not having another striker coming in. Yes, Almirón can play in the number 10 and out on the left, but I think we'll keep Hoslu, and I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I think we'll keep him as well. So, right, we're going to wrap up. We shall be back round about 6ish tonight. Do join us for another update. Fingers crossed we've got some bodies over the line. Get over to Facebook. Mark, Kyle and Paul are keeping you updated with all the transfer gossip and the news as well. See you later on. Bye-bye.